Hello everybody, hope you're doing good. Today I want to show you how to take your quiz of flashcards from this to this. And for that, I'm going to recap to my previous video because hi, my name is Ranjini and I am having an exam and I was researching on the top 5 study techniques and one of them is the active recall. And in this video, I am going to show you why active recall is so superior compared to other techniques and how I'm going to use NotebookLM to generate better quality flashcards and quizzes. So active recall is all about retrieving what we have read. If we just read and highlight, that's more of a recognition pattern than it is a retrieving pattern where our hippocampus will be, hello, thanks for waking me up. And this method has gone to proven in multiple studies since 2013, if I'm not mistaken, almost a 50% better retention rate than just reading and highlighting. Was that? Okay, yeah, I heard you. Hey, I'm already using Anki. Why are you complicating my life? As a matter of fact, I am not, but I am here to tell you that I think Anki and NotebookLM are complementing each other wonderfully. Why? Because number one, Anki is solid. I think for people who are still in their first year, second year of medical school, where you need to memorize these facts, you need to get it in your system ASAP. Anatomy, pharmacology, biochemistry with all the Krebs cycle and everything. So this is when Anki is very useful because it is going to take the whole paragraph and extract sentences and ask you questions that are literally those sentences and to be able to recall it. Now, the where Anki shines is using its SM2 algorithm where you can space these repetitions, which is also a very good technique for memory retention. But where I think it lacks a little is when you need to start reasoning and not just vomiting these facts. As you go along the way, you need to reason and know how to apply it. And that's when I think Anki may not be able to assist you to generate a clinical vignette, so to speak, in the medical field. And that's when we go to our new BFF called NotebookLM. Now, NotebookLM has the capacity to generate clinical vignettes in quiz form and even in your flashcards, and they test reasoning. And there is a complete easy workflow. As long as you are going to utilize the correct prompts, you'll get excellent results in under 5 to 10 minutes. And the downside is that there is no spaced repetitions. You can see how many you got right or wrong, and you want to do it the next time, it wouldn't be able to tell you, do you just want to do the wrong ones? Yeah, so it doesn't have that feature. So to sum things up, the power of recall using Anki and NotebookLM has been studied in a recent article in GeoSM in 2025, but they did go to say Anki is powerful for factual recall. But when it comes to higher order reasoning, NotebookLM tends to stand out. So they're not competing, but they're complementing, so to speak. Without further ado, now let's go to how to use NotebookLM to give you the best results. Before I start on how to deep dive into an AI tool, I think it's crucial to know with anyone who's using an AI tool, please don't just use it as a search engine. It is far more powerful provided you know how to guide it. Now, I am in no way a fan of saying that AI is so smart, it's smarter than humans. Absolutely not. Because what you tell it to do, it will compute, organize, and give you back an output. However, as the tech industry says, garbage in, garbage out. Now, I know that sounds a bit harsh, but it is true. So here are the 3 crucial things that you must know how to prompt AI engine. Number 1, you need to assign it a role. Now, if you want a recipe, you have to say act as Gordon Ramsay or act as Gordon Ramsay's sous chef. Now, I'm just quoting him. Or you get what I mean? If you want to get medical related stuff, act as a professor, act as a medical educator. Then it will refine its output far much better. Number 2 is you need to give it a structure. In this case, you're going to say stuff like, on the front of the card, I want this style of question. On the back of the card, I want to know why or which part is your weakness. Maybe then you can highlight that. I want to know the deep down facts. So I want to know this. and stuff like that. And number 3, you need to control the source. Now, for NotebookLM, it's good because the chances of hallucination is really slim, or maybe none, because it is retrieving information from the source that you, my friend, have provided. But however, if you were to generate quiz cards, which you can in other engines like Claude or Gemini, they're going to pull from open sources. And if you don't specify what you want, you're going to get a load of information, some perhaps false, and you have to do further understanding and reinterpretation, which is a waste of time. So remember these 3. And once you know this foundation, now we can move on to using NotebookLM. Okay, so welcome to my notebook. And once you get into your notebook, you're going to have to create a new notebook. So once you create your notebook, you are going to upload your files or website or drive or any copied text, which could be your own notes. In this case, I am going to utilize Harrison's cardiovascular medicine. As I did say, I got a thing for the cardiovascular system. Okay, so I already have a demo version here. So now when you put in this Harrison's cardiovascular medicine PDF, it's going to give you a brief summary. And this is what you're not going to do. So you have the whole PDF here, and you have multiple options on your right here of using audio overview, slide deck, video overview, mind map. Now we can go through this. I am going to go through this in the next coming videos, so please stay tuned for that. Okay, so what I'm going to do is, I'm going to generate the quiz as we discussed. I'm going to click this arrow, and I'm just going to put in here, make me 10 quiz from chapter 4, and that is all. Okay, which what I used to do at the start, maybe you are still doing. And as for the flashcards, same thing. I'm going to go in here and paste, make me 10 flashcards. Okay, and generate 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so now I'm going to show you what the output is like. Now this is the flashcard that we've got. And if you can see this flashcard, it's going to say, during an ischemic episode, the presence of transient mitral regurgitation murmur suggests that the dysfunction of the... So as I told you, this is going to be very factual. Okay, so typical manifest as symptoms, intensity. Okay, and if you want the answer, then all you have to do is click on the card and you will have systolic or diastolic dysfunction. And say, hey, AI, you're lying to me. I want to know where you got this source from, and you just have to click this explain button and it will retrieve on which page it got the information. Now I'm going to show you the quiz that we made with the very basic prompt. Okay, so in the trilaminar structure of the larger blood vessel, which layer is primarily characterized by a loose extracellular matrix containing fibroblasts, mast cells, nerve terminals. So this is a very basic option. But what we want is for you to reason what you have read, especially if you're in your final year and above. And now we are going to do it the right way. Okay, so now I've got 2 sources here, but just focus on the Harrison Cardiovascular Medicine PDF. And from this chapter, I'm going to directly generate quiz, is what we did earlier. Now, when we do that, what happens is that it's just going to go to chapter 4 and it's going to pick and take whatever it deems fit. Or maybe it's going to scan the whole book for the term cardiology. I don't know how the AI backend works and stuff, which is not exactly what we want. So the first thing to do is to generate top quality notes for that chapter. So for that, I'm going to be inputting a prompt that I have created, and I'm going to put it in, and it's going to give me a note, which is going to be okay. So yep, here we go. Now this is the high yield note study, chapter 4, discomfort, pathophysio, clinical presentation, red flags, investigation, management, exam traps, because that's my prompt. And if you want to know where it quoted what, you see these references here, and it will be able, if you click it, it will take you to the source. Now it's going to scan the whole PDF for that. This is a very thick textbook. Here you go. Okay, so it's got the information here. So like I told you, it cannot hallucinate. I'm not 100% sure, but I think even if it hallucinates, probably it's a 1% maybe in the interpretation. So this part, you've got the notes highlighted out only for chapter 4. So from here, what we're going to do, we're going to say save to note. And when we save this to note, that's when you will get this clinical dimensions of chest discomfort and myocardial ischemia. And this, we're going to make it our new source, convert to source. Okay, and now you have this new source. So I'm going to untick this and only use this source now to generate the next part, which is the quiz and the flashcards, which I have already done. Yeah, I've already done before recording this because it takes a bit of time. So I'm going to show you a prompt that I've put in. You're an MBBS final setter at Harvard Medical School. Okay, rules. These are the rules. Verdict and start at moderate difficulty and ask your first question now. So now we're going to look at the output of the question that we got. So we have a 65-year-old patient with a history of hypertension, presents with chest discomfort and a heart rate of 115. According to the pathophysiology of coronary perfusion, why is the patient's tachycardia a direct threat to myocardial oxygen supply? I'm going to try this. It decreases the percentage of time to the heart spends in diastole. It decreases the percentage of time the heart spends in diastole. Most myocardial perfusion occurs during diastole, so a faster heart rate shortens the critical phase for the blood to flow in and have efficient diastole phase. Now you see how the question or the clinical vignette is associating it to the pathophysiology that you would have read. Now, I think this is a far more efficient technique to reason and to recall the fact. And if you're not happy with the question or the answer, likewise, just click the explain button, and then in your chat box, the reasoning will appear here. Oh no, what's happening? So it speaks of the demand error, the mechanics of coronary perfusion. Solid, eh? Okay, so now for the chest pain cardiology flashcards, let's look at the prompt that I've used. You're a senior medical professor and distinction level flashcard designer at Harvard Medical School. So the front you want a clinical vignette, the back you want the diagnosis, the mechanism, and the why not or the differentials. So let's look at the flashcards that it produced. Again, I'm going to try. A 62-year-old male presents with a 3-month history of retrosternal squeezing during brisk walks that is relieved within 5 minutes of rest with a normal resting ECG. So in my brain, now I have to come up with the diagnosis, stable angina, the mechanism. The occlusion is small enough to be dislodged upon rest. Okay, this is going to sound really dumb. Differentials, a pleuritic chest pain or a muscular pain. Let's have a look. Stable angina pectoris. Oxygen supply demand mismatch where Oxygen supply demand mismatch where atherosclerotic narrowing limits supply during increased metabolic demand. So only when there is a demand and there is an increase, then your atherosclerosis narrowing will cause a problem. So why not unstable angina? Because this pain is brief and only an exertional and it's not more than 30 minutes. And why not an aortic dissection? Because it is gradual and not suddenly or tearing. Voila. So you can clearly tell the difference between the factual flashcards or quizzes and this with a clinical vignette and how reasoning is so important. If you want these 3 prompts that I used, just drop me an email and I will email it to you. Nothing for sale, totally free, just here to build a community. And I wish you all the best with the workflow. I hope you get the results you want. Tell me what quiz you think you're going to do or how you're going to test yourself in whatever industry you're watching this from. Now, the next week, I hope I can come up with a really interesting way to generate mind maps, because I think mind maps are so efficient and crucial in the learning technique and even in recalling. So if you think you're interested in that, I will catch you in the next video, and I really appreciate your time for sticking around. Peace out.